What's up, agency owners? Jason Swenk here with another episode of the Smart Agency Masterclass, a podcast for the digital agency owner that wants to scale faster and really create the freedom where you don't have to do all the freaking stuff yourself and you have an amazing team that's making decisions without you. Doesn't that sound amazing? So make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Well, in today's episode, I have an amazing guest all the way across the pond in the UK, and we're going to talk about making a good first impression in order to grow and scale your agency faster. So let's go ahead and jump into the show. Hey, Tom, welcome to the show.
Hello, how you doing?
Good. Well, I'm sorry we had to boot your partner. It was just the bandwidth, but
That's all right. No worries at all. He'd
he
prefer I do the talking anyway.
exactly. Well, welcome to the show. Tell us who you are and what does your agency do?
Amazing. Perfect. So my name's Tom Jauncey. I own Nautilus Marketing. We're based in the UK. We're a fully remote agency and we do everything in terms of digital. So we're full service. We specialize in WordPress and Wix in terms of website builds. We work with clients on ongoing strategic marketing strategies, SEO, Google Ads, socials, anything nerdy. We're your go-to nerds.
Awesome. Now, did you guys kind of fall into running an agency or was this a planned thing?
It was never a planned thing. I went to drama school. I was on TV shows, in movies, and never intended to set up a company, let alone an agency. So while I was acting and going to castings and auditions and working on stuff, I had maybe 3 or 4 social media clients. So I was just doing content creation. So some small businesses, some medium businesses that just basically couldn't do their social media. And then over time, they were like, oh, can you do graphic design? Can you do this? Can you do this? And me being a person that loves to say yes, I said yes. And then panicked in the background and found freelancers and stuff to help me. And then over time, to where we are today, we're at 17 nerds as of today. We're not a
Awesome.
corporate agency. We love what we do. We don't do locking contracts. We don't wear suit and ties. We just have a good time and learn stuff and help clients.
I love it. From a starving actor to a starving agency owner. No, I'm just kidding.
Literally.
I went to one audition when I graduated college, and I actually got the part. And the
Oh, wow.
movie was called The Bomb, and yeah, no one's ever heard of it. And
I see.
I literally put it out on the hemisphere of the podcast sphere. I was like, if anybody can find it, I really appreciate it, but no one's been able to find it yet.
What kind of movie was it? Was it an action movie or what sort of
No,
stuff?
no, it literally was this stupid movie of like 3 guys and 3 girls going to this club. And like I had literally one line, and most of the time we were just dancing around doing stupid shit. But like one line was like, "Isn't this awesome or what?" or something like that. It was pretty fun. It's amazing. I remember my line from then because I think I messed it up a couple times.
No way.
Yeah, probably.
Oh
But
no, that's so cool.
enough about the dumb acting that I did. Let's talk about kind of first impressions and why is it so important in business?
Definitely. So we're very different to other agencies, and sometimes when we get on calls with clients and prospective clients, mainly, they're a bit like, "Oh, okay, these guys aren't like your typical business owner, older people wearing suit and ties and stuff," which is something that I absolutely despise. When I first started off, sort of doing freelancing, I worked for some big agencies in London, and they just saw their clients as cash cows, which is great from like a business perspective. Like, don't get me wrong, but I'm a people person. I love chatting. I mean, I can talk for hours, as you'll surely find out in the next 20 minutes or so. And I didn't like how they were treating clients. So over time, I sort of developed this like nerd. I mean, I geek out on stuff. I love tech. I love software. So when we onboard clients, it's something very different to other agencies. It's a very hands-on approach. So, you know, our first impression when we jump on a call with someone, it's all about asking them what their problems are. We've done a bit of research and coming up with some ideas. And that's where I think a lot of agencies sort of focus. They have a set procedure that they follow for each client, whether that be an SEO strategy or a social media strategy. But I think if you can show some good initiative in that initial first call, we call them disco calls, like a discovery call. And on those calls, it's us getting to know the client, selling ourselves, but not in a, I hate hard sales. It's something that I really despise. Some people are really good at it, and I think it works for a lot of people. But for me, I'm just a terrible person. A lot of our clients, I talk about how their puppies are doing, how their business is doing, rather than, saying you got to do this. If we get off this call, the price is going to increase by $2,000 or something. So it's just having a rapport with clients and a relationship. I did a podcast on it recently about having a good rapport with your clients and your prospective clients. I think if you don't have that, you're setting yourself up for failure, especially as you go down the journey with the client too.
Yeah, I always like to really start off the meetings by asking questions, and a lot of times even before the meeting, I would actually send them a video and say, "Look, these are the most common questions that we get. And I want it, this is a 5-minute video for you to just kind of go through that so we can focus totally on you rather than you ask us a ton of questions that are just very generic that you could find out ahead of time."
Did you automate that process,
I
or is
did.
it fantastic? That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And it basically was said something like, "Hey, here's a 4-minute video of the most common questions people ask us on our first call. And we're sending this to you so we can totally focus on you rather than focus on us, because we
Fantastic.
want to help you." And then we would lay out kind of the agenda. Everybody, and then we would also let them know we have secret software that lets us know if they watched it or not, and we'll cancel it
Yeah.
if they don't. Right. So they would like, "Oh, I better watch it."
And I mean, like 4 minutes is 4 minutes. It's something that you can do in the morning with your cup of coffee or something. I
Exactly.
really like that idea.
Yeah.
Really, really nice.
What what's another way where you can make a really good impression and really kind of separate yourself out from all the noise out there?
I think there's two ways of saying it. Your first call that you have with a client and how you approach that call, whether it be your prep, having a good chat with them about life and everything else other than the business, having that nice human conversation. But I think also that follow up as well. So what I do is every disco call that I have with a client, I set up maybe 5 to 10 minutes after that call, before my next call, so I can put together that proposal. And pretty much just not as soon as we finish that call, but like 5, 10 minutes after, I send them an email, high priority. I put the link to the proposal in there, which is completely interactive. And I know that if I was a client and just got off a call with someone and then getting that proposal like 15, 10 minutes later, I think it's a good way to kick things off. Of course, there's things where I need to check with the team or developers if we're doing like something bespoke, but run of the mill stuff where I know what the problem is and I can, fix it quickly. I always like to do that because I think people appreciate it very well.
What's an example of a bad impression when someone was selling you something that you try to avoid?
You'll relate to this 100%. When you get those people on LinkedIn and they send you a connection request, and it's like, "Hey Tom, I've seen you in my network and we're in the same industry. Can I chat to you?" And I just completely hate it because it goes back to that thing again of just not building rapport. And it's something that really bugs me. And I always reply to them. It takes like 2 minutes, and I say, "Yeah, sure." If you build up some rapport, and then just delete the request. But I hate that's my pet peeve. Business is business, but I'm very different to other people out there. I like human interaction.
I mean, that's the total reason I'm barely on LinkedIn anymore. Is literally,
Oh yeah,
I see, like, and if you looked at my LinkedIn profile, it says like "helping agency owners grow faster" is like my title. So that's the first thing people see. So as soon as I get a message from someone connecting, it's like, "Hey, Jason, with helping a digital agency grow faster," right?
you can spot it a mile off, can't
I'm
you?
like, "You moron." Like I literally, it's the same irritation I get from the text messages of like someone trying to sell me something that's never even chatted with me. It's just like, oh, it irritates me.
We're lucky we don't get text messages like cold text messages here in the UK. I think our GDPR is just like completely rigorous.
I
Even
need to
like
move over
spam.
there.
You should do. But no, it's something that I really hate on LinkedIn, and especially like we get so many emails per day saying, "Oh, we can get you to the first page of Google with your rankings." I'm like, "You're emailing an agency. You're obviously not doing your research." So, automation works well, but I think if you do it in a correct way, just like you did with that video that you just said, when you send to people before they have a discovery call, I think that type of stuff is where you can stand out. But when automation is done really badly, it's like you can tell it a mile off, and it just that doesn't set a good first impression, right?
Exactly. What are some other things that have helped you build the agency in the past couple of years that you think agency owners need to hear?
So I launched the agency 5 years ago now, and I think the most valuable thing, and you said it interestingly in your intro, is the team that we have and that I have. So Jake, who has joined the call, Jake's my partner and my business partner. We've not killed each other yet, and that for me when I first started. So Jake joined maybe 2 years into the business. At first, it was just me, and then when Jake joined, we were two brains stuck together were able to sort of scale it to something that I never intended to ever do. And even like our SEO team or a Google Ads guy or one of our developers, I always believe in hiring people that are more smarter than me, and that's like a not like a cocky or vanity way at all. If I can sell to a customer, which I'm quite good at, and I know that my team can deliver in the background, then it's a happy medium for a happy business. It means I don't have to worry about delivery. I mean, I do because I'm not a control freak, but I like everything to be perfect. It just makes my life easier because I have that team behind me that can jump in when I don't know anything or about that particular thing that a client's asking or something. So I'd say your team is the most important thing that you could ever rely on to help you scale 100%.
How do you determine if they are the right person for the team? I remember when I was building the first agency, when I started hiring people at first, it was like whoever would work with me. And then it kind of
Yeah.
quickly changed of going, well, like they have to have this and I get to a point where I was like, I am a bad manager, but I'm a good leader. And they're two different things. So what did you guys figure out?
I at first when we first hired, it was a case of, as you said, we just need to get someone to do what they can do and to jump in and do everything that they need to do. And as the team grew, the people that didn't fit in stuck out like a sore thumb. Whether it be people that doesn't fit with our ethos or they're just not getting on with what they should be. And it's a difficult conversation that you have to have with people. We had one guy that was doing Google Ads for us, and he was doing freelance work with another person, which I don't mind. I don't say no to at all. But then it started to bring it into the business, and there was problems and stuff, and I just said, this has got to stop. And then we decided to let him go. And it's a horrible thing. I said I'm a people person. I'm the most positive person someone would ever meet. But stuff like that, like owning an agency in itself is like an iceberg. You can see the great stuff at the top, but then underneath it's everything else. And it's not a nice thing to do, but you've got to have that team there that are the good ones. And I think as you hire more people and you meet new people, especially for us, we're completely remote. So for us to hire someone who lives, a 5 hour drive from where I live, I mean, 10 years ago, you'd think like, what the hell? Whereas now it's a case of, okay, let's see what the person likes, what they enjoy, what they do outside of work. Are they a nerd? Do they enjoy learning stuff? All that kind of stuff. And now I've got to quite judge of character, and I do that with potential clients as well. That first call, I can spot not an awkward, but a difficult client that's going to cause problems. This is my sixth agency in the last 2 years, and then my alarm bells are like going like, oh, okay, probably not the best for us because something isn't obviously going right with yourself. So I think you develop a judge of character, right? But initially, when you're building a team, it's like you don't know because you've never done that before. And especially for me, I was an actor before, so I'd never had a proper job. I'd never been in a corporate company or anything. So for me, I've had to, liaise on our HR, our recruiters, Jake, my partner, because he's had proper jobs before. Whereas me, I just was flung into this, never intended to do it. And then here I am now with, a lot of mouths to feed like children.
Exactly. Well, I mean, it's all about, going back to kind of the theme of the show is around, making the first impression. You're making an impression right off the bat, and so are they. It's kind of like, how can we decide if this is is this going to make a right fit for our team members coming on or our clients? And when you have been doing the agency for a while, you start realizing that, and you're going, man, I don't need to hire everybody or that wants to work with me. I have to say no. Like, the biggest thing is you got to kind of turn into a no man versus a yes
Yeah.
man.
And that's what I was before. I'd always say yes to anything, just so I could learn, I could do new things. But that's exactly right, and not just with team members. It's clients as well. You know, Sometimes we see a client and we just see so many red flags. I just say, I'm really sorry, but I don't think we're the best fit for you. And it's not a nice thing to do because I feel bad because they need help. But when you start to see things and what's going on, and whether we go to hire someone, I always check what they're doing on social media or if there's been any press and stuff like that. Especially with clients, we had one client that we were going to build an app for, and I did a bit of a Google because something felt a little bit off, and it turned out he been to court for not very nice things over the past maybe 4 years or so. So I just said, we've got too much work on at the moment. It's not something we can help with. And it's not nice because I've always been brought up to say yes, do this. But you gotta put your foot down sometimes and say no because it's going to be worth too much trouble in the long run.
Exactly. Well, this has all been amazing, Tom. Is there anything I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the listeners listening in?
I think something that's really important, especially when you're first starting an agency, I'd probably say is like strategic partners. So we work with, and I network with a lot of other agency owners. So if we can't do anything, I give them a call and say, "Hey, I've got this client. We're too busy right now. Could you get in touch?" And we work on like a little nice referral scheme. But also with, we're a Google partner, we're a Wix partner. Wix has been great for us. They give us leads, and then we can jump in and help people and stuff. So I think when you're first starting out, it's probably advice I'd give to anyone is just get your fingers in as many pies as possible, build those relationships because it's going to come back and it's really going to help you in the long run, 100%.
Yeah, I look at, building an agency, regardless whether you're starting or you're kind of really seasoned, is you have to have kind of three different channels: an inbound, an outbound, and strategic partnership channel. And when you
Yes.
could find those partners that are more strategic than referrals, that's the key. That's one of the keys. And a lot
Definitely.
of people miss out on that. We did great partnerships over the years with Microsoft and a number of different really big companies, but they weren't big back then. And as they grew, we grew with them. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
And it's nice because they've done the selling first, really, to say that we're a partner and what we do and what they do. And, regardless of any of our strategic partners, it's not an easy sell for us, but it makes our selling job and pitching ourselves a lot better because that's already done before us, which is nice.
Awesome. Well, and what's the agency website people can go and check you guys out?
Yeah, of course. So it's nautilusmarketing.co.uk. And yeah, we're on socials, TikTok. I'm obsessed with it at the moment. So there's loads of content on there. But yeah, nautilusmarketing.co.uk.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for coming on the show. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, make sure you share it out with a friend. And if you guys want to be around amazing agency owners on a consistent basis where they can see the shit that you might not be able to see and where you can grow and create that freedom that you've always wanted in the agency, I'd love to invite all of you to go to digitalagencyelite.com. And until next time, have a swank day.